Hey everybody, welcome to What's Next from 13 News on this Wednesday night. Got an exciting show for you tonight, covering a bunch of topics. Number one, something that's been really popular on social media today, a vaccine clinic specifically for our school-aged Hoosiers, 12 to 17 years old. We're going to talk to Alan Carter, who is covering that story tonight. Also, 50 days to go until the Tokyo Olympics, and we are getting a, call it a taste of Japanese culture. Thanks to our very own Scott Swan. We'll be showing you some of that coming up in just a few minutes. But first, I want to bring in our good friend Sean Ash to talk about another $1 million sunset tonight, at least downtown Indy and a couple other communities across central Indiana.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have to go far, partner. I was actually going out to the car for my battery charger, and I was like, oh, that's pretty nice.
Because you missed it last night. We got all these pictures from last night and completely missed it.
And I didn't have too many sent to me here this evening, but this is what I was able to catch outside. That was actually looking toward the southwest, and it was a little thunderhead that was off in the distance. Let's talk about the rain numbers. Much needed rain, I might add. We discussed last night about how there would be this sharp cutoff in rainfall. Lafayette didn't even get 1/10 of an inch of rain. Officially over a 1/2 inch in Indy. I had a report from Greenfield of 1 3/4, over 1.5 inches in Bloomington. And when you look at our 30-day deficit, so this was definitely some needed rainfall, and I will tell you, I think it's going to be the widest spread rain that we'll have over the next 5 to 7 days. Now, we still have some locally heavy rain around, and we talked about the possibility, low chance of a severe storm here, and it's still very low. If it happens, it would be across far southern Indiana. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to have, between now and tomorrow morning, some locally heavy rain, because the air is still very juicy. Dew points are in the 60s, so muggy meter is going to stay elevated going into the weekend. Here's what you need to know about tonight and into Thursday, how this is all going to shake down for us. So a lot of clouds around tomorrow morning, maybe some fog in places, and then we've got this slow moving system and a stalled front. So I think up north, northwest probably doesn't have anything to worry about in terms of storms impacting outdoor plans. But this front is going to be draped over the I-70 corridor. So with the heating tomorrow, we're going to see additional scattered showers and rumbles of thunder popping up. So just know that's going to be part of the afternoon plan. And this is part of your weekend plan. There you go.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. And it's looking sunny too. Mostly sunny this weekend and very summerish. And that heat that you're seeing there is going to come with dew points that are in the 60s. So for some folks, that's going to be, hey, it's about time.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, not for everybody. I know you're not a huge fan of the
I don't like real muggy air, but, you know, I do love 4 seasons, and that's one of our seasons. So I know it comes with the territory around here. So it will be a good weekend, I think. Seriously, get out on the lake or find that neighbor. If you don't have a pool, find your neighbor, give them a buzz. I might be sliding by your neighborhood.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Sean. We'll check back in with you coming up in just a few minutes.
Yeah,
let's talk now about kids and the COVID vaccine. There was a clinic today in Marion County specifically for school-aged Hoosiers 12 to 17 years old, and Alan Carter is looking into how it went for us tonight. Alan, what's the word?
Well, hey, actually, within just a pass, as you were talking to Sean, I got an update. They had 70 kids come through the clinic today. These are people between the ages, as you said, 12 and 17. A first of about 3 clinics that they're planning on holding in Marion County this month. Today, this was at North Central High School. And as I said, you know, several dozen kids came out to get their first shot of the vaccine. In about a month or so, they're going to have to come back and get that second dose, because this is only approved for the Pfizer vaccine. That's what was given that temporary authorization by the FDA for, and actually last month for 12 to 15-year-olds. And also they're expanding that, of course, here in Marion County for the 17-year-olds as well, 16 and 17-year-olds.
Okay. I wonder whether the organizers had a goal. I mean, you know, how many young people they wanted to get vaccinated. I just wonder whether they are satisfied with the number of people who showed up tonight. I know something like 50 or 55 had registered So that
Yeah.
means what, they had 20 or so walk-ins?
Yeah, so this was something that you didn't have to necessarily pre-register. You could do that, but they were accepting walk-ins appointments for anyone that wanted to come in. That's including family members. So even if you weren't in that age range, you could still walk in and do so. They did not have a hard number that they were trying to meet. I mean, we do know that when you're talking about this age group, this has been some of the hardest to reach in terms of getting the vaccine. The younger that people get, the less hesitancy, or maybe I should say, less urgency that people seem to have about getting vaccinated. So not necessarily, they weren't putting a target on it for today, but they did say that, the success that they have in getting younger people vaccinated, that will kind of bleed into seeing what they're able to do come the fall in terms of, will school look normal once it kicks back up in August?
Yeah, we've seen efforts really ramp up to get vaccinated, people of all ages really, but there are still a number of people who are hesitant, especially it seems when it comes to parents getting their kids vaccinated. I'm thinking specifically of a recent survey that showed about 30% of parents said they would get their children vaccinated right away, only 30%. And these aren't necessarily the so-called anti-vaxxers. These are parents who say they're just concerned, maybe want to take a wait and see approach. What did you hear from the families who were there tonight? Were they excited about it? Were they? I mean, what was their thought process there?
Yeah, well, this was an eager group. I mean, I guess you could say you're talking about the first wave of people that come in as soon as it's available to them. You're gonna see a little bit more eagerness in that group of people that are going to come into those vaccination clinics. So the people that I talked to were not hesitant at all, but they had a wide range of reasons for why they wanted to come out today. One person was he's 17 years old, was getting ready to do a summer camp, and that was part of the requirements that in order to participate in this camp, you had to be vaccinated. So that's why he came in today. Another person said I talked to, she was 12 years old, actually right on the edge of eligibility. And she said, you know what, I still have friends whose parents aren't comfortable letting people into their homes yet. Part of being able to do that is going to be able to get vaccinated. And that's why she came in to get her shot today.
All right, as you mentioned, Alan, there will be 2 more youth vaccine clinics later this month. We've got those dates and details online. Alan, thanks very much. Look forward to your story tonight at 11.
You bet.
All right. Now, for those of you who have been watching here regularly at 10 o'clock on Facebook and WTHR, and for those of you who are avid 13 News viewers, you know that Scott Swan went to Japan pre-pandemic to get a flavor of Japanese culture ahead of the Tokyo Olympics, and he has brought back, along with photographer Steve Rhodes, they've both brought back some incredible stories, and we've got another one coming up tonight at 11 o'clock. Here's a quick preview.
We continue to count down to the Summer Olympics by showing you some of the stories gathered during my pre-pandemic trip to the Olympic host country. The food in Japan is amazing. The sushi is great, and the noodles are tasty too. Soba, 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 soba. We traveled more than 300 miles from Tokyo to eat at a restaurant that challenges you to eat as much as possible. It's a competition here. They keep score on how many bowls of noodles you consume, and the people who come to this restaurant, boy, they eat a lot. I mean, we're talking hundreds of bowls of noodles in one meal. This is a story that'll make you hungry. The pursuit of Wanko Soba noodles. Join me as our journey to Tokyo continues tonight on 13 News at 11.
Thank you, Scott. I'm hungry again all of a sudden.
Yeah, I can do some noodles, partner.
What's your favorite sport to watch at the Summer Olympics?
I'm
putting you on the spot.
Yeah, track and field.
Okay.
I really enjoy the 200 meter.
Yep.
Of course, that takes me back, I think, to '96 in Atlanta.
The year you participated.
Oh,
right?
yeah. No, but my wife is a huge, just Olympics in general.
Yep.
So
mine too.
To get the kids ready, she's got them watching reruns. You know.
Is that right?
Yeah. So she blocks it off, and it's just she loves it, and so I'm like, okay, well, we'll be watching some Olympics here. On 13 here this summer. Yeah.
I've got 3 kids. My older 2 both do track.
Okay.
And so this will be the first Summer Olympics that they're old enough really to fully enjoy the track and field events.
Yeah.
Especially because they're familiar with them. They're interested.
Yeah, I mean, growing up late 70s, early 80s, you remember Edward Moses, you remember Carl Lewis and those amazing streaks they had. So. it will be interesting to see. But yeah, I'm always fascinated by 100 and 200 meter, man. Just
Yep.
I know I can't do it, but I like watching someone that can.
50 days away.
That's right, man.
All right. Sean, thank you, sir,
Yeah.
and look forward to seeing you at 11 o'clock, and hope you at home will join us then over on 13. Have a great night.